Alright guys, this is not the video I wanted to be making. My 100k account is in trouble, serious trouble. I promised I'd document the whole journey, the wins, the losses, so here we are. Today I'm going to show you the exact trade that put the account back in drawdown, what went wrong, if anything went wrong, and what I need to do differently, and whether I can actually save this account. Is it over for the account? Only time will tell. Stick around because the second half of this video gets rough, but I think there's an important lesson that every trader needs to hear.
So going into this week, I was actually feeling good. My plan was simple: stay disciplined, avoid forcing trades and protect the downside. But then this one setup appeared. It looked clean, it fit my rules, and honestly, I thought it was going to be the one that would push the account into profit and give me some breathing room. And that's the dangerous part, when you want a setup to win instead of letting the market do its thing.
I've just entered short on US dollar Swiss.
So you can see we played the short from a couple of weeks ago, that nice trade. But yeah, we've just broken down, retesting the 0.382, the 1 hour 50. Again, everything part of my plan. Slight negative is the 4 hour, but we've still got the lower low. So I'm just looking to play this trend down. You can see lower lows, lower highs formed, beautiful price action. So yeah, I'm just looking to continue this past the low and see if we can get the continuation of the trend. As I mentioned, I took the trade before in a similar price, similar area. So yeah, hopefully this continues selling off, and it's got fantastic risk reward on the table. So yeah, it could look good for the account.
And this is where the mental battle starts, because I know if this trade loses, I'm going to be on a bit of a losing streak, and it's going to end up with the account in drawdown. Especially being so close to passing phase 2 this year, being at 1 pip away, being back in drawdown after being in profit for the vast majority of the phase 2 challenge is going to be tough mentally, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm confident in the setup. I like the trade. Again, trading isn't necessarily about the outcome. You can't control the individual outcome on a singular position. The only thing you can control is executing a high quality trade and allowing that edge to play out over time. You're going to have losing parts of the edge. You're going to have winning parts of the edge. If you have a strategy that wins 55-60% of the time, which is deemed as high, if you do the exact same thing perfectly, but you know that you win 55 or 60% of the time, that means you're susceptible to 40, 45, even 50% of your perfect trades losing. Was this trade a perfect trade? It was a very, very good trade, a high quality trade. Everything was nice about it. So whatever happens, happens.
So we haven't initially got the continuation like we wanted. After this bearish engulfing, we would have liked to have seen a continuation. Not messing around at this area. The more we mess around, the less likely it is to move in that direction. It's still okay. The stop is quite tight. It's only at 15 pips. So if we do break above this level, we're pretty much going to be stopped out. So we want to see a break below this level, continuation to the downside.
Just woken up, 5:45. Asia's not really done too much. This is where we opened, obviously. Here. We just ranged. We started to reject the 1 hour 50 again, which is nice. So hopefully we just get now a breakdown coming into London, near London, and start getting this continuation of the sell-off, and then we can manage it to break even, because obviously we've still got full risk on the table.
So price never got the continuation of the sell-off, and we were approaching the high. If we broke that high, I knew it would be stopped out. It was looking very unlikely that it was going to continue selling off. And yeah, inevitably it did stop us out. So we did end up taking the 1% loss.
I won't lie, this trade obviously isn't ideal. Does hurt a bit because I wanted to get funded by the end of the year. But I think that's the problem. I'm having too much expectation of when. I've just got to execute the plan and allow the edge to take care of itself. I'm going to be going over my back testing, going to be going over all the data for this year and previous years, again, to just have that confidence in my system. I'm very, very confident in this system. I know I've got the data to be on my side. But yeah, being back in drawdown, again, I'm only 5% away. You know, I'm only in a slight drawdown. It's just not ideal considering how close we were and how far we were into the challenge and how much we were progressing. But losses happen, losing streaks do happen. When the winning streaks come around, I've got to be prepared to execute my plan. You know, there's no good thinking now, oh, let's change strategy or let's change this because this isn't working. No, I've had a good year. Good year overall, around 15% so far. Maybe a little bit less now, I need to add it up. But it's around 14, 15%. It could have been a lot better, but I've got consistent this year. And yeah, most importantly is staying disciplined, accepting that losses happen, identifying if it was a good trade. And by good trade, I mean, was it part of my strategy? Not regarding the outcome, but was the trade part of my plan and part of my strategy? If it was, despite the outcome, it has to go down as a good trade. And yeah, go from there, keep improving. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I hope to share by the end of the year me passing the account, and then you guys that have watched me would have seen this whole process this whole year. But we can still do it. December tends to slow down. We can still do this, but it's just a little bit of a setback.
Just want to say quickly, guys, if you guys want to help support my journey, all I ask is like, comment, and subscribe. 300 subscribers off 7K. That's the goal by the end of the year. I appreciate you guys. So when we go over the actual position, guys, you can see we actually started off. It actually ended up playing out in our favour. You can see we got stopped out. The direction was correct. Obviously, we have our entry here. Break and retest of the 1 hour 50.382 or 0.5 fib. Any one of those fibs. We got a clear lower low. Everything looked good. And it did end up playing out. So we got the bias correct. But sometimes you do just get stopped out. When we compare this to the other trade that we took, it's exactly the same. And that's a good sign. You know, if it's a similar entry, it means you're going to be mechanical and it means you're taking the same good quality trades. We got a clean breakdown retest and we just sold off. And in this case, it played out. In this case, it would have played out in terms of our direction, but we just got stopped out. So overall, I am happy with the position. I am actually happy with this trade. There wasn't too much negative about it. We can clearly see a trend change, lower low, lower high. After a lower high, we're looking for the continuation to the downside, which we did get. People could say, yeah, this is liquidity, or you got stopped out with liquidity. End of the day, sometimes you're going to get stopped out of any position. You can find any reason why you got stopped out, but sometimes it is just part of the negative side of probability. You get stopped out before it goes. You can't avoid losses all the time. People try to look for reasons what you could have done differently. Sometimes you can, but a lot of the time, if it was, you know, your bias was correct and your entry model provided an entry, if you get stopped out and it plays out in your favour, and it would have played out in your favour, that's just one of those things. But yeah, overall, trade's okay. It was a nice trade. It just stopped me out before continuing. Look, it's at the same price as pretty much similar area where we were looking to do business before. This one played out and this one didn't. So yeah, one of those things.
So the big question is, can I save this account? And the simple answer is yes. Obviously, I've been in drawdown before multiple times and have come out the other side. This is the time where I have to stay focused and be confident in the strategy. Think about what I've done this year and all those consistent months that I've had. You know, these are going to be the times where you're going to be tempted to look to change things, look to maybe change where your stop loss placement was because, you know, I got wicked out and it continued, or you're going to look to change to a different style. This is what kept me in that loop for so many years of being inconsistent, because during these difficult times when you're struggling, you were close to funding, you were on a good run for a good portion of the year, and now the last little couple of months has been a bit more of a struggle. This is where I would have looked to change, and when I looked to change, I wouldn't have allowed the other positive side of the edge to play out. During the time that I'd look at another strategy, different time frame, different currency pair, different entry model, that would be then the time that my current strategy or the old strategy would have been playing out and getting me out of that drawdown. So simple answer is yeah, I've got to stay focused, not make any rash decisions. Although obviously I said before I want to pass this by the end of the year, it would be nice. I'm not going to put any expectation on it. If it gets to January, February, March, I'm just going to take the trades that I know are good quality, have positive risk reward, and allow the edge to play out. I could go deeper into drawdown before coming out the other side. I could have a couple of big winners in a row and pass it in tomorrow. You don't know. So all I'm going to do is focus on the process, keep becoming the edge outside of trading, sticking with my disciplines, my routines. Over Christmas is when people can get distracted. I'm very much focused. I'm very, very much focused. I'm going to be so locked in over Christmas when everyone else is, you know, going out drinking, going out partying. Nothing wrong with that. But for me, I have a goal to achieve. I want to keep growing this channel. I want to pass my accounts and show to you guys that it can be done. So that's my focus. And hopefully we'll get there. So yeah, I appreciate the support in the videos, guys. We're trying to hit 7K subscribers by the end of the year with 300 off. If you guys could help by liking, commenting and subscribing, it would mean a lot. Thank you very much for supporting me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.